Legends don't appear overnight. They rise from broken cities, wild roads, and men who refuse to kneel. In 1957, on the streets of Oakland, a handful of riders stitched together the identity that would shake America. This is how Sonny Barger and a small crew of outlaws turned a name into a myth. The sun over Oakland felt different in 1957, hotter, heavier, buzzing with a tension only those born in the fire could feel. Factories roared, bars spilled noise onto sidewalks, and the smell of gasoline and rebellion lingered in the air. America was changing fast, and Sonny Barger was changing faster. Sonny had spent weeks riding with Red and the crew. Long desert runs, bar fights that turned into laughter, late-night talks about what it meant to live outside the world's expectations. But something inside him burned stronger than the rest of the men. Not anger, not ego, direction. He wasn't content with being part of someone else's group. He wanted something that felt bigger, something that didn't fade when the engine stopped. He wanted a brotherhood with purpose. He wanted a name that meant more than just noise on the pavement. One night, in a dim corner at Jingle Jim's, a drifter biker from San Bernardino leaned over and said the sentence that would rewrite biker history. "You boys ever heard of the Hells Angels?" Red shrugged. Most of the men hadn't, but Sonny froze. He didn't know why the name hit so hard, like a strike of lightning down his spine. But he felt it. Hells Angels. It wasn't just a name. It sounded like a prophecy. The drifter pulled a cigarette from behind his ear, lit it with a dead match, and continued. "Here's a chapter down south. They're wild, real wild, but they ride together. They die together. They live by a code. A code. A brotherhood. A name that echoed." Sonny didn't sleep that night. He stared at the ceiling, listening to passing car engines outside, and realized something. The name didn't belong to one place. It belonged to the men who lived fearless enough to carry it. And Sonny Barger was one of those men. A week later, Sonny called for a gathering, the biggest they'd ever had. Dust rose behind dozens of Harleys as riders from Oakland, Hayward, Richmond, Berkeley, and even a few drifters rolled into a secluded lot. The engines shut off. Silence. Only the ticking of hot exhaust pipes cooling in the evening air. Sonny stood in the center, young, lean, black bandana around his head, eyes sharp, jacket dusty from too many miles. But his voice, steady, commanding, certain. "We ride hard, we stand together, but we ain't got a name that fits who we are." He looked around. Dozens of men stared back. "We're not a club anymore, we're a brotherhood. We're riders, angels of the road." He paused, letting the weight fall. Hells Angels. Silence. A beat. A breath. Then Red smiled, a slow, dangerous, approving smile, the kind men follow into fire. A biker in the back yelled, "Hell yeah!" Engines roared to life and celebration. And there it was, the birth cry of the Oakland Hells Angels chapter. From that moment forward, they weren't just a bunch of riders. They were something America would fear, admire, and mythologize. A name needed a symbol, something strong enough to outlive them all. The early Angels patch wasn't polished or corporate. It was handmade, skull with wings, bold lines, stitched by riders who bled onto the fabric. It carried the smell of leather, sweat, cigarette smoke, and destiny. The first time Sonny put it on, he didn't feel like he was wearing a jacket. He felt like he was wearing armor. He once said, "When you put that patch on, you stop being just one man. You become all of us." Men who had never been accepted anywhere suddenly had a home. Men who had fought wars in foreign lands finally found a war worth choosing. Men who had been alone found brothers. The patch became their beating heart. To announce themselves, Sonny planned a run, a long one, across the California hills. Dozens of angels hit the highway, sun behind them, wind tearing at their jackets, engines blending into one thunderous beast. Car drivers pulled aside. Kids on sidewalks froze with awe and fear. Even the cops, watching from the roadside, didn't dare interrupt. That run wasn't just a ride, it was a declaration. The angels had arrived, and nothing, not police, not rival clubs, not America itself, would push them back into the shadows. Sonny rode at the front, hair whipping in the wind, eyes locked on the horizon, heart beating in perfect rhythm with the roar beneath him. He didn't need to say it out loud. Everyone knew. He wasn't following destiny. He was making it. The early days weren't about crime, fear, or power. They were about freedom, the purest kind, the kind you taste only when you've lost everything else. The angels became a family. They fixed each other's bikes. They defended each other in bars. They rode through nights so cold you could see your breath and your fate in the same cloud. And Sonny was the spark, the man who turned noise into purpose, the man who gave a lost generation a flag to ride under. If you believe brotherhood is earned on the road, not given, subscribe and ride with us into the next chapter. But legends attract enemies. As the angels grew, so did the threats. Rival clubs, police heat, and a country that feared what it didn't understand. One night, as Sonny walked toward his bike, Red whispered, "Word is, the other clubs ain't happy." Sonny smiled, calm, fearless. Then let 'em come. The war for the road was about to begin. Next is blood, chrome, and brotherhood. The conflict that forged the angels into an unstoppable force.